Big stream or big screen, cinema or sofa, where will you spend your hard-earned money? That is what we are here to help you figure out.
Let's get ready to rumble!
My name is Tosin and I am the host. I'm based up in the UK in a place called Bromsgrove. And joining me as always on the Isle of Wight is Sean Harris on the Isle of Wight. I already said yes. I already said that you're on the Isle of Wight. Just doubly make sure that you know you're on the Isle of Wight. And also on the Isle of Wight is Sharon Bolland.
Hello.
And joining us all the way from London, our London correspondent, it is Holly Nesling.
Hello.
Hello. How are we doing? Yeah, we're doing all right. All right, cool. So we've just been we are recording this in the middle of the World Cup last 32 match, which currently England is losing 1-0 to the Democratic Republic of Congo. I'm kind of lying low and conflicted because hey, African sides. So please, if we have a very distracted sounding show with that and other reasons, which will become apparent as we go along, we just ask for forgiveness for this distracted sounding show. But let us kick off and get straight to the point and talk about, as we do, what it is we have seen in the cinema recently. Sean.
Okay, so I've seen Jackass, the last, and
best and last. I think
the
it's
best
called.
and last. Sorry, Jackass, the best and last, Supergirl.
Supergirl. All right, cool. Okay, Sharon, anything in the cinemas?
No, I have not seen anything.
Yeah, your time has been spent too busy trying to find a dog that's living its best life, as far as I'm concerned. Sounds like it's having way too much fun. And Holly, anything in cinemas?
Nothing in the cinema, as this has been a difficult week because we had to say goodbye to Cinema Cat Max.
Yes.
No,
Yeah, I know. Yes. Yeah, so I just wanted to say, quite frankly, you brought it up, Holly, and I wasn't going to bring it up yet until towards the end. But as far as I'm concerned, we're dedicating this entire show to Max. Yeah, Max,
You
saw, we used to see him sometimes, didn't he? He'd make an appearance when he felt like it.
Yeah, love coming out and seeing you guys.
Yeah, if anybody has seen any of our video stuff, you might have seen Max every now and then walking across Holly's desk and very, very artfully showing off his bum hole to the world.
Yep. He always felt the world wanted to see his bum.
Yeah, he always wanted to see his bum, and unfortunately, we will never see that bum again on the show. So I want to say sorry for your loss, Holly. Sorry for your loss, Holly, and thank you for being with us today.
It's nice to do something that he enjoyed, which was coming and hanging out with you guys as well.
But I do hope, Holly, for all the world, in tribute to him, you are not going to show us your bum.
I am not. I feel that would be somewhat inappropriate.
Thank you. I know we've been friends, but I don't think I would know what to do, and I think that might be the end of the podcast.
I think it would be an ill-advised choice as these things go. So no bum showing on the podcast. That's the rules. I didn't realise we needed rules,
right, cool.
But unless you're a cat, in which case, or Muffin when he comes home from living his best life.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's just one of those things. I feel like you shouldn't need rules, but every now and then it's just good to make it very clear. So, okay, how about at home? What have we seen at home, Holly? What have you seen?
I have seen Strung, and also nearly the end of Fountain of Youth, but I forgot to go back and watch the end.
That's the Apple TV. Is the Apple? Okay, once I say Apple TV, I immediately want to say show, but no, it's the Apple TV film with John Krasinski, Natalie Portman, and one other person. Is it Isa Gonzalez?
I'm going to go with yes, but I can't remember, and I don't think this should be taken as a slight against it. It is a pleasantly silly film that I have not got to go back to the end to finish because it's been a crappy week. But I will report back on it when I have made it to the end.
Everything I saw about that film said low rent Indiana Jones.
Yes.
As a fact, he actually said low rent national treasure.
Treasure.
Quite a low bar.
Yeah, that is unfair to it. It is better than National Treasure.
But National Treasure. Okay, cool. All right, cool. So we have Strung. which I did not manage to see, even though you told me about it earlier in the week. Okay, how about Sharon? What have you seen at home?
I haven't seen anything at home either. I'm just here taking up space. I haven't seen
You're just here. You're just here for a chat and to give us a muffin update. That's what
Yeah.
you're here for.
No, but yeah.
It's all wandering around a film getting stung by stinging nettles. So,
Save your legs for a bit.
yeah, let my bites heal a little bit. I'm covered in bites as well.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, I saw that thing that I said I saw last week. But we
Christy.
didn't review. Pardon?
Yeah,
Christy, that's it. Christy, thanks, Toast. You have to keep them straight and narrow. I'm sure I'm getting old.
Honestly, whenever you guys tell me that you've seen something, I actually have a list. I have a list of what Sean has said he's seen, what Sharon said he's seen, what Holly said she saw, and there's some stuff that you guys said like probably about 6 months ago that I'm like, still on the list. We never spoke about it. you probably okay. Let me bring up the list and let me see whether you guys actually remember watching these things, because I put them down and then we never had the time to get around to talking about them. So let's see. On Holly's list, I have In From the Cold, Dangerous Liaisons, Happy Face, Cleaner, I Am Wolf, and The More. These are all things you see.
I do not remember.
Yes, these are all things you said you watched we never spoke about. On Sharon's list, I have The Duchess and Narvik.
Yes, I remember them both.
Okay. All right, cool.
But
And on
not
Sean's...
enough to talk about them. Well, I might, but yes, I could talk about them. But
Oh no,
it's short.
we don't need. This is the thing. We don't need them. We don't need them. But I'm just pointing out that we have them. It's like Sean, on your list we have The Treacherous and South Park: The Pandaverse.
Right. South Park, the Pandaverse. Yeah, I'd sometimes get a couple of bits of it. Well, I got one there. It's funny you should say that, because do you reckon that something's going on in the world? Because on my Facebook feed, I actually got the Pandaverse one with Cartman, and in the Pandaverse with the and it's like, so, and I mean that was yesterday, Tozen, and you've just said in the Pandaverse. What is going on? What is going on?
One day, social media overloads might let us know.
Yeah, I mean, how would you say that? Like, you mentioned that, and that was yesterday. Was the Pandaverse one with Cartman sitting at a desk in the? And they say, who's that dude there? You know what I mean? Let's go. Anyway, but yeah, how weird.
Yeah.
And by the way, you do look like in that picture you put on the group. You do look rather like a villain, I think. Not, and I mean that in the nicest way. I don't mean that.
No. I do look. I look more like Katanga from Live and Let Die, the James Bond movie. I look way more like.
Glad you said that.
I look way more like Yaphet Kotto as playing Katanga in Live and Let Die than I look like myself.
Yeah. So, I was going to actually put that in there. Live and Let Die.
There was definitely a consumption of more calories than I think you normally consume as well to achieve that picture.
Oh, it's things like I don't know. I've seen some pictures of myself that have not been. We're talking about an AI generated picture. I've seen some pictures of myself that have not been AI generated that make me think, oh my god, I did not realize that was happening.
No.
Well, I saw that picture and I thought, was it possibly like your dad as a younger man? And they've just like, I thought, is that Tosin's dad as a younger man or something? I thought, you look like mature.
In cinema,
Yeah, I was going to say, what have you seen?
I was going to say, in cinema, I saw Supergirl. I went along with my niece and one of my daughters yesterday to go see Supergirl because my wife's on. Okay, boring NHS chat coming up. My wife's on call, which means she's doing 12-hour shifts, which means that my usual cinema time in the evening I wasn't going to have. But then I realized that the timings worked between picking one child up from nursery and picking up the other child from after school club. I had just enough time to watch Supergirl, and my niece was with me, so we all jumped in the car, went to the cinema, watched the film, made it back just in time to pick up my other daughter. So I saw Supergirl yesterday. And so that is it. And I think we're going to go Christy, which I was trying to find because, Sean, you said Netflix last week, but then I realized that it was actually Amazon Prime. I should have known. It's on Amazon. Yeah. It's on Amazon Prime. So didn't get a chance to watch that. But we'll go Christy and we'll go. Holly said Strung. And all right, cool. Let's kick off with Supergirl then. Let's kick off with Supergirl. And Supergirl, as the title suggests, is about Supergirl. For those who know a little bit more, it's Kara Zor-El. So this is set in the DC universe, is the repeated DC universe that started off with Superman last year. A film that I actually quite enjoyed. I loved what they did with Superman, with the new James Gunn Superman. And so this, and she shows up for a brief period in that film, and you sort of like get the idea that Supergirl is kind of like the wild child to Superman's sort of like, brave blue Boy Scout. So while he's all about, we've got to stay here and defend people and truth, justice, and the American way, she's kind of like, yeah, I'm leaving the planet to go get drunk on a planet with a red sun, because a planet with a red sun dulls my powers, which means I can actually get drunk. Because if she tries to drink alcohol on Earth, it has absolutely no effect on her. So when you meet her, she's celebrating the 23rd birthday on a planet with a red sun, so she can actually fill the drink with her and her dog Crypto, who I have to stop myself from calling Snowy, because he looks so much like Tintin's dog. Yeah. Like, if you know like each time I see him, I'm like, Snowy. No, it's Crypto. It's Crypto. It's not Snow. It's Crypto. and so then you have so the film kicks off, and the basic thing about this film is that you have this guy called Krem of the Yellow Hills, played by Matthias Schoenaerts, who is kind of like essentially a space dick, quite frankly. And he just walks around and he does horrible things to people for reasons. And one of the horrible things that he does when he comes across Supergirl's path is that he poisons her dog. He shoots her dog with an arrow, and that means that she shoots the dog with an arrow. The dog is poisoned. She has 72 hours to save him, and she has to go and track him down because he's stolen her ship as well. She has to track him down and get the antidotes that he always keeps on his person to get back to save her dog. That is the storyline of the film. So think John Wick, but in space. And meanwhile, there's a girl called Ruthie, and Krem has killed her family for reasons, because he's a dick. And so, and she ends up being sort of like tagging along with Supergirl, saying, I want revenge, I want to kill him, blah, 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 blah. And so that's what happens. The film unfolds. Yeah, that's the superhero film. Sean, what did you think?
Okay, well, so, I mean, this was very, very heavily CGI. And I think this was geared towards the young teen market, young teen sort of, and probably a female audience as well. So like definitely to try to appeal to the younger set, I think. And I found it, for me, I don't know, I found it a bit inconsistent. I sort of, with powers and stuff, you know what I mean? And that
is always the problem with a super whatever movie. Yeah, the powers, it's like because they're so vastly overpowered that you've got to ask yourself, what is the jeopardy? And you have to come up with all sorts of like clever ways of making them less powerful than they actually are.
But with that as well, I mean, it's like a survival thing. I mean, I can't really say it without giving away spoilers, but let's just say, let's just think arrows, yeah? Well, and for me, I'm not saying it was, a bad film, but I just found that it was really inconsistent. Like sometimes they're die maybe, and and I don't know. I just couldn't sort of fathom how it was going, and it just was full of inconsistencies for me, and also stupid things. Again, why don't you finish the person off? Why doesn't the other person finish the person off? Why? Why do they let them go all the time? And it's like, or how can they escape? How can you've got these powers, and it really annoyed me, and I was thinking, oh come on, you've got someone bang to rights, and they get away.
Well, the thing is, okay, I didn't think there was anything as egregious as, I mean, with the other day we were speaking about Disclosure Day, and there were some bits where it was kind of like, you're like, you don't know what's going on, but it really feels like the brain has left the building at this point in time. Yeah, I don't think it was anything as bad as that in this film. No. Although they do keep coming up with different ways of meaning that Supergirl cannot use her powers, so something else has to, and some of them I thought was quite good, but after a while it was kind of like, okay, now. This just feels as if you knew that if we didn't find a way of removing her powers in this point in time. The film's over in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Kind of like,
true enough.
I mean, there's some bits that's quite like the whole sort of red sun thing is quite cool, and everything like that. There's a bit where they come up with a different colored sun that I kind of thought, you've pulled that out of your backside. Kind of, and I know people will say it's a superhero movie. So what was that? What was that?
I saw it in a trailer today.
Oh yeah.
We're going to call it.
What
today.
about the different colored sun?
Yes. Yes. So it's definitely a trailer.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, but for me, I'm kind of like, you pulled that out of your backside. And I know that people would say it's a superhero movie, everything is pulled out of somebody's backside. Yes, but it's got to be like, it just felt very, very convenient at that point in the film. I feel like overall, yeah, Sean, you're going to say?
I was just going to say, and there's one bit early on where, let's say, like you said earlier, you can go to a planet so you haven't got your powers to the sun, and something happens which would cause a lot of damage to someone if they didn't have any powers. Your powers, but still survive, or with weakened powers. It just didn't cut the mustard for me.
Yeah. I mean, it is a bit of a problem. I think for me, my biggest problem with the film was I felt like, for me, it was a story. I felt like the story, this is the kind of film, it's supposed to be a caper. So this film, you'll see a lot of people comparing it to Guardians of the Galaxy. Like people have sort of said, like, it's like people took the best parts of Guardians of the Galaxy and tried to mix it with Mad Max. There's people who say things like that. For me, I felt like the storyline of, this beloved animal-looking thing has been poisoned. We have 72 hours to save it, and we have to go across the galaxy to find the antidote and bring it back. That's Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And I'm like, I got obviously you have James Gunn in charge of DC. Did nobody realize that we've pretty much just copied the storyline of Guardians of the Galaxy 3? It's weird. You have Jason Momoa who shows up as Lobo, and the thing is, if you know Lobo from the comics and everything like that, Jason Momoa seems like a pretty good fit for Lobo. But in this film, there's no reason that he's there, apart from the fact that they want to sort of like show that we're going to make a Lobo movie at some point. But apart from that, there's no reason that he's there. And I feel like it doesn't quite. First of all, I'll say Millie Alcock, who plays Supergirl. I actually really liked her as that character.
Yeah. I like the character. I do like the character, Toes. I do think. Yeah.
But I feel like
I loved her at the end of Superman. In that, she deeply made me laugh.
That sort of carries on a little bit, doesn't it?
It does carry on, and she really does sell this Supergirl as this conflicted character for reasons. She does sell her and everything like that. So I think it's quite good. I think that's quite good. But I felt like the story just kind of felt like, okay, cool. Now we have. It's as if we have action scene. Now we've got to figure out a story to sort of link them all. So it's almost as if you had action scene, then it all stopped, and then puddle around for a while, then action scene, then it stopped. Then puddle around for a while, then action scene, then it stopped. And it wasn't like it was going forward, and like the best of these things flow from scene to scene, and there's always a reason for people to go to one place to do anything, and you don't feel the filmmakers going, okay, cool, she's too powerful. How do we stop her being powerful? Okay, how about we come up with this different colored sun? And so for me, I would give it a 3. I would give it a 3. It could have been better. It could have been worse. But I was hoping, like, because obviously a Superman film has to be all big and worthy, and with this, they're not trying to do big and worthy. They're trying to do almost kind of like a 23-year-old on a birthday bender. That's what this film's supposed to be. But imagine if this 23-year-old had intergalactic powers and could go from planet to planet and all that kind of stuff. So that's what they're trying to do, and I think it's. Bits of it work, bits of it don't. Bits that work, the performance of Millie Alcock, I think, are great. I think Mata Shonet has just been told to show up, be weird, and chew the scenery. He does. And it's all cool. I think some of the flashbacks to Krypton beforehand, because this Supergirl origin story is a little bit different from the one I've heard before, and I was like, okay, cool, because the one I've heard about has like time dilation and all that kind of stuff going in there, and the reason she was sent to Earth is different and all. So but all in all, I think I would give it a 3 out of 5. It could have been better. It could have been worse. Sean?
Yeah. I agree with you, Toes. I agree with you. I was going to say, I think this is 3 all day. It's not something I would go out my way to watch again. And
No.
It was a slam bang action film. lot of inconsistencies. But yeah, I sound like I was really getting down on it and really hated it, but it was just the way it was, I think. And I think maybe for a younger audience, it might resonate a little bit.
Well, yeah.
But certainly
Well, yeah.
not.
Yeah, I mean, there's things that they've done, like even with things like the soundtrack. I think that there's a lot of female grungy artists on the soundtrack,
Yeah.
and I feel like they have sort of positioned this as what we're trying to do here is we're trying to tell you it's very female focused. It's very sort of like almost sort of like, and this word or this phrase has connotations depending on where you come from. It's very girl power, but not like rah rah rah, but it is there and you do see it.
Yeah.
And like the storyline that they make, the fact that like, you know, the bad guy is a guy and the bad guy is a guy who's doing bad things to women and all that kind of stuff. And so they've coded it in that way, and I think that it's that bit. It doesn't connect with me. I hope it connects with some people, but it doesn't connect with me.
Yeah.
But I hope. Yeah, but I know that it's not doing as well as they would hope it would have done. But hey, anyway, let's move on and let's go on to streamy stuff and let's talk Strung. So Holly, let's talk Strung. Tell us about that. Oh, and also Sharon, I know that you're just sitting here enjoying the fact that you don't have to be running through a field chasing after a dog that does not want to be found. I know you're enjoying this, but at any point, if you have any questions, fire away about any of these things.
Okay,
so Holly, Strung. I mean, you told me about this the other way, and it was one of the weirdest combinations for collaboration I've heard, which is
Yes.
Blumhouse and Tyler Perry.
Exactly. Not a combination that you expect to come across ever. I was surprised and interested, but surprised. The premise of the film is that it centres around a young African-American woman who is a truly gifted violinist, and she is trying to get her place in the Philharmonic Orchestra of wherever they are. I don't know if they told us and I didn't remember, or if they don't say, but as it happens, is all filmed in South Africa anyway, apparently. So I think it's a little bit more location agnostic. It is not going as well as she would like, because that's how auditioning processes work. So at the same time, she's teaching. She takes a break from her never-ending practice and goes out, and she meets eyes meet with a very handsome man in a diner, and they end up talking, and it's wonderful. And then they end up going back to her apartment for a lovely bit of grown-up time, and
Okay, this guy is played, but for those of you who need to know, by Lucien Laviscon of Emily in Paris fame. So yeah, that is the good-looking sort of like man with all the cheekbones, all the abs, all the butt cheeks. Yeah, Lucien Laviscon.
very nice looking gentleman. And she wakes up the next morning and there was this beautiful little origami thing next to the bed saying something like "you're wonderful" or whatever. Very nice, very, very charming. Off she goes to do her supply teaching for the day, where she is being teachy and I think plays the violin at some point. And she's sitting outside afterwards, and a woman comes up to her and said, "Oh gosh, that was so beautiful, I heard you and I simply had to talk to you." And for reasons that are frankly quite mystifying, she says, "It's like it's fate. I am looking for a music tutor for my granddaughter, preparing her for some sort of piano recital." Bear in mind, she is a violinist, not a pianist, but whatever. And the granddaughter has all sorts of health issues. She is allergic to all of the things in the entire universe. And the daughter of the daughter of the woman who has randomly approached the violinist. I've forgotten all of their names, which is absolutely terrible. So those you may need to check them on IMDb for me and just interject occasionally saying this is what the person is called.
Okay, sorry. England have just scored. England have just scored.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah, England just scored. I mean, I've got headphones on and I can hear the yells of my neighbors.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, sorry. So you were saying she goes to teach this girl
Well,
who
well,
from
it
what?
builds up to her going to teach this girl, and she ends up having to move in, and the girl's mother is heavily pregnant and a very, very beautiful woman. And it turns out that the little girl's father had been a very successful rap artist who had died of an overdose. Um, and her mother has since remarried. So she builds a connection with this little girl who insists on wearing. And I don't think they ever say where it's from, but insists on wearing an African tribal mask that had been given to
Yep.
her by her father, which is sort of her way of protecting herself from the world. And she and lovely violinist, get on very well, and she is actually a very gifted little pianist. And then it turns out that the little girl's stepfather is the gentleman that our heroine had spent some, nice quality time with not that long before.
Yeah.
Lo, this film continues to unfold into a somewhat bizarre thriller that so it sort of unfolds into a thoroughly melodramatic thriller that is
Well,
over the top and unhinged, very
yeah.
well put together, very beautiful people, very, very beautiful people, and the acting isn't bad.
Well,
It's
that is
just
okay.
over the top.
Okay, if I might just go through, so going through the cast, we have Chloe Bailey. Chloe Bailey, who people might know her from the music duo Chloe X Halle, and she is the older sister of Halle Bailey, who was in the reboot of Little Mermaid.
It was
You
Little
have
Mermaid.
Lynn Whitfield, who is a legend of Black American acting. You
And
have Anna Diop, Coco Jones, Romy Woods, and Lucien Count or Laviscon. I like saying Laviscon because it sounds better in my head.
it is a
Yeah,
stunning cast. That's the thing. They are
it's
talented actors.
yes, yeah.
This
So
film
that would be fine,
justice.
but there's a couple of things about it. I mean, just because when you say Blumhouse, for those of you who don't know, Blumhouse are like a modern horror machine. So I think if you think about like they did Get Out, they're known for doing things like low budget but do well at the cinema. And Tyler Perry is known for making sort of like broad. He has two lanes, comedy and melodrama. So when you said Blumhouse and Tyler Perry, I'm saying horror meeting with comedy slash melodrama. Although with this, it's probably more likely to be melodrama, featuring black people, because Tyler Perry's entire career seems to be about making sure that black people get jobs. That seems to be his entire thing. Everything he has, you can be guaranteed that the cast of almost anything he does will be 99% black and all that. So this whole thing just sounds weird. So when you say that it goes all melodramatic, I'm like, of course it does. It's Tyler
I mean,
Perry.
that is Tyler. I mean, it is Tyler Perry personified at that point, but it's definitely not. I mean, it's not horror. Well, I mean, it is tense, and there are stuff. So I suppose, depending upon how you look at what horror is, maybe there's a horror.
Well, I saw the trailer, and also the thing I said about the girl with the mask and everything like that. That was giving me real Jordan Peele vibes, because there's a kid in Us who does something very similar, and which was also produced by Blumhouse. So
So it has consistent features of both Blumhouse and Tyler Perry's whatever.
yeah, oeuvre.
Oeuvre, yes. And so it's a really good cast. It looks good. The script is not good. The the structure is very contrived.
Yeah,
Like very, very, very contrived. And the ending is quite unhinged, and not what I expected by quite some margin.
oh,
Like a
okay.
very significant, wow, that came out of left field. Some of the bits coming up to it, you're like, yeah, no, I see that, and the other bit was like, Oh, okay. Well, we will just roll with this. This isn't at all bizarre, and frankly, over the top and silly.
Yeah.
But it is completely watchable, but too long as well. It's 2 hours, and an hour and a half would have been still somewhat excessive. So, yeah,
But
it's too long.
it's
It's a ridiculous script. It's an even more ridiculous premise when you get right through to the end. But it is a very good cast, and there's some beautiful piano and violin playing in it. Would I recommend people watch it? Not really. I wouldn't say don't watch it, but I wouldn't say if you've got nothing to do with your time, it's way better than a lot of the things I've watched recently. But
it's
I think it's rubbish.
I think it's one of these things where you would say, my interpretation of that is like, watch it if you will, but be warned, this is what it is. Don't go.
It's a long film that is
Don't go expecting something that it's not. It's going to be melodramatic. It's going to be over the top. It's going to be and all the. It's a bit like, and it just reminded me as well that Sean, before we go, we got some feedback about Scary Movie, which I need you to hear. I need you. So remind me that before we go, because it just made me think, because I feel like Tyler Perry makes things very much for a black audience, and I feel like not even a black audience, a black American audience, and I feel like sometimes like
black American audience. So I was very aware that I was not his target demographic.
and not even that, I feel like he makes things for the a black American grandma who can watch this and go, oh my God, I can't believe he's going in there. No, don't you think? Oh my God, leave girl. that kind of thing. And I feel like that's the kind of reaction he's trying to get, so he does go for the melodramatic. But how many stars would you give Strung?
I'm going to give it 2. And I say it was. I think if I were a slightly hysterical, black American grandma, as you say, it would probably have been perfectly up my street. I am not. I was not the target audience. I am not meant to be the target audience of everything. And that's right.
I might go watch this and just sort of see, because I don't think Yeah, but the thing is, like, I know for a while that I am not Tyler Perry's target audience. So there's but I remember when I was in America. And meeting up with other Black Americans or African Americans, and you could see that this was like a cultural thing for them, almost as if like, boy done good, boy from our area's done good. Is it good? What are you talking about? Is it good? That's beside the point. Boy done good. And it's kind of like, it's like when you say that guy from the place that I come from has done something, and therefore I shall watch it and I shall give him my money. That it's a bit like with Bournemouth. Sean, you're going to support them whether they're good or whether they're crap.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And I think Tyler Perry's a good actor. I've got a great deal of time for him. This is just, it's a bit mad, but
it is.
But that's
I think Tyler Perry as a creator and Tyler Perry as an actor, he has some sort of schism going on in his head. Because I think in his head he goes, this is what's going to make money. And then he'll go and he'll dabble with a David Fincher, or he'll go and he'll dabble with, like, being in Don't Look Up or something like that. But he'll come back to Medea and he will make another Medea film, because that's what makes money. But anyway, cool. Now let's go back to cinema and let us talk Jackass Best and Last, which is promised to be the last ever Jackass film, and I think Jackass thing, because all these, if you don't know what Jackass is a group of guys who showed up on MTV probably about 20 years ago, and their whole thing was about, the way I'll put it is like, they essentially tried various ways of killing themselves, filmed it and put it out as a TV show. Hey, let's put ourselves in a box and roll it down a hill. Okay, cool. Let's attach firecrackers to like a long fuse in our bums and see if we can finish drinking this beer before it goes off in our bums. And they essentially tried to, if something had appeared in a Looney Tune cartoon, they tried to do it in real life at some point. And now they're growing old, so they're probably in the 50s, 60s. The last time they made a Jackass movie, in Jackass 5, I think Jackass Forever, Johnny Knoxville had he did a stunt with a bull that actually gave him a concussion, brain damage that he's still suffering from. and essentially lifelong injuries.
And yeah.
And so we now have this film that is made and it says it's going to be the last one. But Sean, carry on. What were you going to say?
Yeah, okay. I was just going to say, funny enough about the bull thing. So yeah, so these guys are old. Johnny Knoxville looks old. They're all getting on basically. They're all they've all done their things. But I mean, anyway. So yeah. Now this is for a target audience, and I'm sure Holly and Sharon never. They're probably aware of it, but never seen it. This is totally. We're talking about target audience. This is my sort of, it's targeted towards me. It's really, sort of, just ridiculous pranks. Really, just ridiculous. They prank each other as well. And to me, in this, as well as the stuff they do, what I really like about this, and what I find funny and hilarious, and I have to say, I was actually working.
Oh my God! Did England just score again?
That as well. Oh my goodness! And no, they haven't. They haven't.
Yeah, we have.
Okay.
Well, 2-up. Well, 2-0, 2-1.
I must have missed that one. Then I must be behind. Oh my God!
Yeah, I think you will have a delay. I think you will have a delay, Sean.
Right. Okay. Never mind. So I know it's coming. So I have a delay then. Obviously, I've got a bit. Yeah, it's going to come now, isn't it? Now
Sure. Let's take a break. Watch the goal.
No. It's fine. It's fine, Toes. I can talk about it.
Okay, cool.
So,
we just
see this, and then it's game. Yeah, what a good goal. So I got a bit of a delay. But that's actually it's Candy that come in Jackass. Anyway, so these guys are really, really old, and like I was saying to you. I like the stuff when they take them and they go, all the stuff that goes on when they're making comments and stuff. And in this, they've got a robot, right? So they got this little robot that a proper sort of person, like those little white Japanese type robots that can do all the stuff.
Yes, yeah.
And obviously a bloke's commentating on it, but they've obviously got a voice change, and he goes, "I was just going to," like they do. They're asking questions. And they're lowering in someone with someone naked, but down onto someone's
because
face.
there's a lot. They're very naked a lot of the times in Jackass.
Yeah. But so this thing's coming down if they don't get the questions right, and he goes, "Oh, you can ask a friend. You can ask a friend." He goes, "Oh, I asked the robot. The robot's going, and then he says, well, I was going to say that, but it's just so all those bits were I've found really, really hilarious, and also in this. I guess with the best and last, there were the best bits in it. There's the bit I so love is in the bar sketch where Wee Man, who's obviously a dwarf.
Yeah, he's a dwarf, yeah.
And there's whole, it ends up in a fight in this bar over a girl, and then dwarf policemen come in and dwarf. It's just, and all the people in the bar are like, "Whoa, what's going on here?" So it was. I mean, I've seen that so many times, and yet I still found it hilarious,
Yeah.
But I have to say, this is certainly a niche audience. I think someone for a niche crowd. And you say about Johnny Knoxville doing the bull stunt, he actually does it again. So yeah. So I won't tell you what happens, but anyway,
these guys they've got a total death wish.
They totally have, and there's like
I don't understand how they're not dead.
No, I know, but yeah, and they have like the stupid face. They do not all. I don't like all the things. Some of the things I find a little bit unnecessary. So like some of
I've heard that there's something about drinking the drink that you drink before a colonoscopy. And then playing Twitter at Holly. Yes, Holly, that face is...
Yeah, so all the stuff before that, and then they sort of wrap themselves up in cling film and stuff, and it's just like, So there's some nutty things that go on, so...
I'm not that
but
target.
it is, for me personally, it was really good fun. I was in stitches for at least 3/4 of the film, I would say, but a lot of that was from that stupid robot making comments and trying to do things, but and all the other people trying to make comments about stuff, and they all laugh. And to me, I think it's like my movies that I like. It's all to do with a bunch of guys, a bunch of blokes doing stupid stuff or hanging out or just like in a crowd, and few of my favourite films, e.g. The Wild Bunch and things like that, seems to be a blokey thing. I know it's probably not.
Yeah.
It's probably not politically correct these days. But Fury, see, there's another one. A group of people just having fun or being in a situation which is really, really intense.
Because one of the things I've heard a lot about this film is that as much as it's about, people getting kicked in the crotch and stuff like that, and as much as it's toilet humor, it is really, there is in a very Jackass way an ode to male friendship and about this bunch of guys who have just sort of like loved each other for a long time. And I think that's what you're saying. That I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that. It's like, men are allowed to love each other. Men are allowed to have friends. And I think that's what you're saying. It's like, when you have a group of people together, like the Wild Bunch, the Dirty Dozen, Fury, or anything like that, it's about a group of guys getting together to try and achieve something. And I think quite frankly, there's something that and this is me doing my whole thing of, I've never watched it, but let me tell you what I think. But I think as part of that is it's just, I think everybody watches that and you want that group of friends. You want that group of friends. You want to hang out with them. You want to be able to achieve things with them, regardless of who you are. And I think that's something that Jackass, in its own very puerile way, pays a lot of homage to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they must. I mean, through doing those stupid things, they've got to form some sort of bond, really.
Yeah, 100%.
You can see they really, really care, especially in the ball stunts. They really care for each other, even though they say, So yeah, I liked it. So I would give this. I mean, for me, from personal, I would give it a 4 because I really, really enjoyed it and I laughed a lot and I had a really good time with it. But I would think you'd have to be. It is only if you're into Jackass, because I'm pretty sure Sharon would possibly be horrified by the whole thing. I don't mean that in a nasty way, Sharon, but I think you, and Holly, from Holly's expressions, I would imagine she'd feel exactly the same way.
I don't like embarrassment humour, and I don't like, so Jackass always for that doesn't appeal, and I don't really like slapstick that much. So it's sort of the things that I appreciate that other people enjoy, but I am backing away slowly with.
But Holly, I think in your vein of watching bad things or watching terrible things, I actually think you should try watching the last Jackass movie, because I've heard really surprising things said about that by women who I think share a lot of your sensibilities, who have come out of it going, I did not expect to like this, and yet.
Well, it's not going to be a cinema one, but I will watch it, because I take
no cinema thing, no cinema. Okay, and that's actually a good. We haven't asked this question for a while, but okay, when Sean comes back, Sean can tell us whether he thinks that we should watch Jackass best and last in the cinema or wait for it to show up on TV.
I can very quickly say that,
watch it. Yeah.
Sorry, go on, Sean.
No, I was going to say you could. I mean, it was fun in the cinema, but you could watch this. You could watch this on streaming, I think.
Yeah, but I feel like Jackass's home is TV.
It is TV. Yeah, it is. Yeah, definitely. No, I agree with you there, Toes. Yeah, you could watch it on TV, and if you liked it, you might. I mean, there wasn't anyone in the cinema when we went to see it, because I went to see it after work, and so
Were the only ones there?
Pardon? There was a couple. There was a couple there which were out the way, but I didn't really. But they must have thought I was nuts, because I was in hysterics.
A couple like two people, or a couple like a romantic couple.
Like a romantic couple. So, but they were sort of, I'd say, probably, youngish. So
okay,
I didn't know if they just gone to see it, but they were behind me, so I didn't really. And they must have thought I must have been like. Do you know what I was? Funny enough, I thought, I wonder if they think like reverse. Cape Fear, when Robert De Niro's
sat down there.
Yeah, that'd be like me, and they're behind me instead of in front of me. So yeah, but no, I had a really, really good fun time with this.
Speaking of which, there's a new Cape Fear on Apple TV with Javier Bardem in the Max Cady role.
Oh right.
Yeah.
I'm about a third of the way through it.
What?
I'm about a third of the way through it.
Because Apple are obviously doing their one a week thing. So,
Also, House of the Dragon is back
all right, cool.
as well.
Okay, Sean,
Yes.
if we may, can we push Christy to next week?
We can put
Because
Christy to next week. Yeah, definitely. That
because there's
work.
something I saw. I saw something on HBO Max, or on Sky, pretty much on Sky, and that I saw it and I thought, oh my word! I wonder if Sean ever saw this, because this is like a TV show from the 90s. It's an animated TV show by Ralph Bakshi. If you remember,
Yeah, Lord of the Rings and
Yeah,
heavy
he-
metal fame. Yeah.
yeah, heavy metal film. This is more in the heavy metal things, but it's an animated TV series. 6 episodes. They only ever made 6 episodes, and it's called Spicy City.
I've not seen that. I've seen Fritz. Is it a bit like Fritz the Cat? I've not seen
The animation style is a little bit more
more Lord of the Ringsy.
no. It's did you ever see Cool World? Cool World.
Yeah,
It's
Cool
a little-
World. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
It's very cool world.
Right.
And it's this kind of thing that I was kind of watching, going, this is interesting. I think Sean would like this. And okay, and Sean, the next thing I'm going to say doesn't I don't mean to paint you in any bad light or anything like that, because I just said I think Sean would like it, but also watching it going, I think Ralph Bakshi's a dirty old man. But
Possibly. Yeah. Maybe.
bec-
Right, yeah. I mean, if you see Fritz the Cat, ever seen Fritz the Cat?
I haven't seen Fritz the Cat. I've heard about
Fritz
it.
the
And I've
Cat.
heard
So
about
yeah,
it.
so that is very totally near the knuckle, which is, and there's like, it's very adult themed, shall we say?
Yeah.
Very adult
Well,
themed.
yeah, this is 100% him in Spicy City is Ralph Bakshi in Fritz the Cat mode. It is him in Fritz the Cat mode, because the whole idea is that it's 6 stories and it's done like this sort of like hard-boiled detective novel kind of thing. You have the sort of like saxophone going, and they have this woman who is like a night she is a nightclub hostess called Raven. Think Jessica Rabbit, and think Jessica Rabbit dresses like just I think judging by Sharon's face, I think the reason Sharon hasn't watched anything, but Sharon has come onto the show today to let us know when England have scored. That's what Sharon has done, because and Sean, I'm so sorry that this is like the most spoilerific football match for you ever, because
That's all right.
you're finding
That's fine. There was just a free kick. That was all.
You're finding out. You're finding out about everything. You're finding out about everything before it actually happens. So, Sharon, had England scored, or was that something else?
No, full time. We're through the next round.
All right, cool. That's good, because I'm running an event on the 11th of July that relies on England still being in the tournament. So,
Right. Okay.
if England is still in the tournament by the quarterfinals, this event is probably gonna bomb. But anyway, so yeah, and it's him, like, and so you have like, think Jessica Rabbit. She's running this. She has this sort of like, she has this like bar that everybody comes through, and every week, every episode, she tells you a story. She says like, well, what you don't know is in this city nobody ever gets away clean, that kind of thing. What I found interesting about it is that I think that this TV show, it predicted a lot of how we use the internet. Like the first episode, you're watching it going, okay, they have it's very 90s, and the ideas of, oh yeah, we're gonna go into this chat room and blah blah blah, it's very 90s. But I'm looking at it going, oh my god, that's all happening now. This is all people trying to become like, computer programs, all that kind of stuff. So some of the stories are quite good. Some of the stories, but there is just such a preponderance of naked women in this thing, of drawn naked women. And the fact that it is, I don't know why, but the fact that the women are drawn and somebody has to sit down there and draw them by hand somehow makes it worse. I don't know why. It's like you have to draw and all the naked women all have the same shape. They all have this sort of like, very stereotypically, this is the kind of woman we want to see naked thing in it. But it's just every episode. It took me a while to actually watch the final episode, because the second to last episode I thought was gratuitous. I was like, oh, for goodness sake, that is, why would you, for goodness sake. And so, but I thought it was good. I thought it was interesting. I think it's a bit of like a curiosity, because I think you can actually find all the, Sean, I think you can find all the episodes on YouTube.
Right. Okay. That'd be cool. Look at that. What's it called again? Something City.
No, Spicy City.
Spicy City.
It's called Spicy City. And yeah, and
Yeah, do you think I might like it, do you?
I think you might like it. I think you might like it. And obviously, with me,
Sounds
with my yes, carry on, Holly.
As a title, it sounds a little X-rated.
And also bear in mind this was HBO in the 90s. So yeah. So yeah. It's not as, I mean, there have been worse things. I mean, Rokuso Doji if you're into your manga, but it, yeah, for American TV in the 90s. What was that?
Did you say I don't know how you pronounce it. Legend of the
Rokuso
Overthing.
Doji.
Yeah. Pardon?
Yeah, the one with demons and everything like that.
Yeah. And,
Yeah, I think that's the one. Yeah. Okay, cool. But anyway, so all in all, I would give it a 3. I would give Spicy City a 3. But Sean, I reckon I am so interested to see what you think, because I figured that you would have been around about the right age to have known about this show when it was on TV. But if it was on HBO, it was probably a bit difficult for a lot of people, especially in this country, to get HBO in the 90s.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, cool. So with that being done, the question is, who do you think has won this week? Netflix or cinema?
I think that just purely from a personal one of Jackass, I think cinemas won it by 1.
Bango, and cinema has won it by 1. It's an average of 3.5 for cinema and an average of 2.5 for Netflix and Friends. So yeah, so well done. It's been a while since cinema has actually sort of made that stronger showing. All right, cool. And now I promised you some feedback. And so my cousin who has the same name as me, Tosio, who's up in Edinburgh, he saw that because we had a problem with releasing our podcast, and it went up a bit late, the podcast in which we spoke about Scary Movie. And when it went up, he immediately he got in touch with me on WhatsApp, and I'm just going to read along what he said. He says, "Morning, saw you posted that you saw Scary Movie." I was like, "No, I didn't, but Sean did." And he's like, "I left after the first 15 minutes." It's like, bear in mind, this is a man with 2 small children, so he doesn't get to go to the cinema that often. So he had made the choice to go to the cinema, spend his money, and he was so annoyed with himself that he left after the first 15 minutes. Never again. Yeah, it carries on. Never again. It carries on. My prayer is that I never make such wrong decisions. The writer of that movie needs to be checked in the head. And I said, Sean will feel so seen.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Then he posts me a screenshot of the Wikipedia page of all the people who wrote it, produced it, directed it, and he just says, all the people here, prayers, deliverance, psychological evaluations, not the silent type.
Wow.
Not the silent typo. The Mountain of Fire and Noisy Lengthy Prayers. Now, Mountain of Fire Miracles is a church in Nigeria that fulfill every single stereotype of an African Pentecostal church that you can think of.
Really?
Holly was talking. Yeah. Oh my God. If you just type in Mountain of Fire Miracles into Google and see some of the stuff that's on there, they are nuts. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They are out. Yeah, they're just gone. They're gone. And he says not. So he says not the silent type of prayers. The Mountain of Fire and Miracles, noisy, lengthy prayers. This is the kind of prayers these people need. And when I said Sean will feel so seen, he says, "God bless you, Sean."
Oh, bless. That's nice. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I will do. I mean, he goes on for longer. Like this film had the 15 minutes of the film he saw had such
really affected him then.
Oh, he is so annoyed, and he's like, I blame myself. He's like, this is a parody on. You were talking. He's like, this is a parody on drugs, not weed, cocaine, and heroin. This parody is on cocaine and heroin. He's like, looking back. Let me put it this way: I'll never watch it again. Maybe parodies just isn't my thing. Spaceballs, I remember liking it, and he just kind of goes. He was just angry with himself. He was just disappointed in himself that he went to go see that film. Honestly, I was very angry in myself. It goes on. It goes on and it goes on and goes on. But I just want to let you know that you are not alone. You are not alone. And it isn't just a black thing. This is a Nigerian man who looked at it and went, "Oh my God, I have wasted my life." So,
This is a people thing.
This is a what?
This is a people thing. This is a functional
no, because
adult thing.
there's still people. But let me put it this way: I feel like there's a lot of overlap between people who love Scary Movie and people who love Tyler Perry. I feel like there is a similar thing going on. Of these people came from where we are, they did well. I feel like there's a lot of overlap there. But okay, anyway, and Max, I just wanted to say, as you are up in the big kitty litter thing in the sky, I wish we could have dedicated a better show to you, but England were playing, Jackass was talking about, there was poo everywhere. I don't know, maybe it was the kind of chaos you love. But
But England won. So England
won.
England won, yeah. So it was a good result.
As this was his dedicated
Yes.
podcast, we will say that they've won for him, even if they didn't realise.
Yes,
it.
England won for Max.
For him.
Thank you, Max.
England won for Max. But until next,
Great cat heaven in the sky and supporting England in the foot.
yeah. So until next week, when we will try and find something else that is going to brave the cinemas while the World Cup is on, it's a goodbye from me.
It's a goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
And a goodbye.
Thank
from
you
me.
very much for joining us. Oh, good Lord, I didn't even hear that. I'm sorry, Holly. Thank you very much for joining us.